The Longing Lonely Place by Ben Welte. I write this short story for those with big, out-of-control imaginations. I write this short story for those whose minds are an enigma and misunderstood to the world around them. I write this short story for those seeking to be heard and understood. And I write this short story to express my heart to its least content, because everyone deserves and needs to be heard, no matter who they are or what they're going through.
When I think about life and reality, I think of it first as a perfect world of imperfections. Then I think of the people I've seen and done things with. My life, I feel now, is a maddening, perplexing void, and that there is no escape inside of a viewpoint. This is a different version of reality as I now know it. But then, all of a sudden it matters, because of the people I've impacted, the things I've seen and done, and what is yet to come. These things we call people are now what is in charge of deciding what reality, as a whole, really is. It's upsetting to see my own species take control of something so vast. But at this time, the experience shall, and I know it will, be something awing, something wondrous, something all-powerful in this dimension, in this version of reality. The invention to bring order, responsibility, and most of all control, which I have to admit really damn scares me. My name is Raymond. I am 14 years old, live inside myself, and write about my experiences with Alea, my spiritual guide, and Colin, an old friend. What I mean when I say I live inside myself is that my mind is my imaginary castle. I live there day after day with Alea and Colin. Colin is someone I've known since I ended up here. And, to be honest, I just remember this darkness, like a void swallowing me and then regurgitating me here in this place. I have recurring memories, dark ones, of me before I came here. I remember when I was around 11 that I had heard of my family's death in a fire just after I ran away. Then, only to learn that I hadn't turned off the oven with apparent paper of lasagna that was to be my last dinner before I left. I couldn't handle my family and then me. I believe, out of theory, that they were the reason I solely isolated myself and came to this sort of paradise. But on the other side of the debate, I accidentally murdered my family. I wanted to let them know what I was going through, although they probably wouldn't listen. I had this whole plan before I ran away. I knew this friend. Her name was Zill, but me and Colin called her Z. She was 18, a senior in high school, and armed with a new driver's license. I asked if she could drive me to the train station. She agreed to do so under one condition. She wanted me to lie down in the tracks to be photographed, to be uploaded to Reddit or Instagram or something.
Come on, it'll be fun. There isn't a train tonight. It's the holidays. No one works on the holidays, so it'll be all safe and sound through and through. There we go. Say beetle.
I had no idea, but when I saw the flash there was darkness, and all my mind thought were voices saying such sinister things in such horrific tones.
All the energy we could spread, all the sad seeds we could send, all the chaos we could impend, all resides within this one young boy, so clueless to the world around him.
It was from that point on that I knew. I'm never going back to where I was once before.
Something other than dark happened today. The time of lunch had struck the clock, and I was alone, listening to the conversations of others in the loud, echoey room. I noticed a small group of people discussing something that mattered not to me, but to themselves. I further found I was fond of doting over the sense that only two of them conversed to each other. The third sat there listening and only asked questions. She wasn't saying much, and it was only her second day here, in this place. I had already been there 2 years prior to her unknown and surprising arrival. I was, I could tell, a similar person. Shy, uncomfortable, annoyed because she didn't know anyone was there, because I too was in this situation. My name is Colin. For those who don't know what kind of a space I'm referring to, I myself have been pondering that same question ever since I ended up here 2 years ago. All I can say is that it's big, open, and mystical in some sort. Almost like a theatrical hall. Anyway, back to the story. She was shy around the people I had never seen before. I went over to introduce myself. She did seem nice after all. She told me about how it was her first time. First time at what? I pondered and didn't understand. So I went along with the conversation. She told me about her preparation for coming here, her way of life, her culture. We got along well. We made jokes and I laughed more than ever thanks to this interaction. We clicked like two Lego blocks, went together like notes and sound, but we never talked much. Only in fragments. Only in pieces of fragments at that. Only in miniatures. When I got home, I don't remember the exact time, I took a shower, ate dinner, and contemplated what she was talking about. About when she said it was her first time.
Maybe she came from a place with answers.
My mind droned on.
Maybe she could be the key to open the door to answers. Answers to where I am and how I got here.
I then realized that both I had stayed up until dawn had entered my window, and also that I may never see her again. I tried to get up, but once I had attempted the effort, I was knocked out, fast asleep. I saw her. We talked. I didn't think I would see her again, and we talked. I thought.
And I was in disbelief when she told me where I was.
When he sees it, his mind is drawn to it. It is irresistible to him. The darkness makes him a whole new person who is longing for an eternity for someone to love him, to take care of him, to be with him, to be close to him. But he is too scared to show his emotions to anyone, unless he trusts some of his darkest secrets. But there's a factor to it which has destroyed his way of seeing people for who they are. Raymond sees himself as an invisible person in this personality and dimension of his own mind. It is only darkness and no light. It is a void of his own doing. One day, he finds that he's only thinking of the secrecy of darkness at night as opposed to day. He finds that every day his actual feelings for the one he loves are being chipped away and manipulated night by night for an eternity of darkness and trade. He looks to his mind for help during the night before the darkness comes. He sees the sunset over a hill that is of orange and navy blue, and asks his friend that is with him,
Is it true that the dreams I have could be trying to help with the insanity that is my mind? Am I making a world that completely destroys my view of humanity?
I believe that the dreams, the things you say in your head, and the darkness in your mind is all part of growing up.
His friend was right, that this was part of his way of growing up, his evolution, his life, and all the choices that went with it. His friend had also said that he was one of those rare people that can talk to others about this kind of thing, since not many people had the strength to tell others before it completely absorbed them. Something his friend said was that people don't understand each other for who they truly are, but a little time and light could be just the trick.
Don't fall. Keep persisting, and you'll be okay.
The boy with the darkness swirling through his mind was tempted to give in and lose all hope he would ever get better. He sat on the roof of his oddly shaped house that was the shape of all his feelings that he had ever created or experienced in his entirety of his lifetime. He sat there and thought of the one person in his dreams.
Alea, who told me everything about who I was and who to look for, to seek out, and what this person's name was. The girl in my dreams was named Alea. She helped me self-orient in my new world. My friend's name was Colin.
Raymond dreamt that night of Alea and talked to her for a prolonged amount of time about the person who he must seek to find happiness in his place in this twisted, darkened life.
They talked of a girl across the lake under the hill where he watched the sunsets every night. And Alea was kind enough to show Raymond where, when, and how to meet her.
That same night, Alea vanished, and Raymond awoke to find her sitting on his bed in a sort of soft, ghostly form. She was Raymond's age, height, and his spiritual guide.
She went to the roof, and soon after, Raymond went to meet her. They watched the sunrise, and she told him that she would tell the girl across the river who was to meet her in 3 days' time.
Before Alea left, she told Raymond of the feeling inside him, and that it would leave his body if he was to embrace it and use it only for times of great sorrow. As she left, she hugged him and said,
I love you and you love me, and I will forever be a part of you and the girl across the river, as well as Colin. I will see you when you need me most. Goodbye for now, and good luck in the near future.
With that, she left with no trace, and as fast as she left, Raymond swooned over the darkness like he never did before. He was driving himself to insanity. His mind screamed,
It's too much to bear. It's all happening too fast, much too fast.
His mind pleaded for mercy, but the owner never accepted this treatment. And just as sudden as everything that had just happened before, Colin jogged him awake.
Raymond, are you okay? You looked as if you were inside a clutching night terror.
Colin was about 2 years older than Raymond.
I need some fresh air. Please, I need it now. I feel that I will be nothing without Alea. Help me up, would you?
Colin, as asked, helped him up and asked,
Would you like to go to the roof?
I would love it if I could go with you.
They went to the roof, soda in hand, and waited. They woke thinking that it was over, and that Raymond had lost his hope of ever regaining his sanity.
Just then, over the river he saw the girl that was to come in 3 days' time, and she saw him. Raymond was struggling to stand, and the girl came upon a raft and floated across the river.
They met, their eyes wide and tired at the same time.
The girl told Raymond that she had seen him asleep on the roof and was told by Alea not to wake him.
They looked into each other's eyes and ran over the hill where the sun was setting, a bright, beautiful blend with the clouds, the sky, and the sun that was of pure orange and navy blue.
They laid down on top of the hill and told each other of Alea and their experiences with her.
Their relationships with her.
And how I left. The girl's name was Baden. She was sweet, smart, and talented with locating stars in the bright night sky.
She felt like she knew Raymond from a certain point of view.
Thank you for listening to The Longing Lonely Place. For credits, Narrator 1 was played by Niku Radan, Narrator 2 was played by Sharon Wayne, and narrator 3 was played by actor David Romero. The three sinister voices were all played by Ben Welte. The characters Alea and Zil, Z, were played by actress Sophia Welte, and the character Colin was played by Milan Hitch. As for the character Raymond, that was also played by Ben Welte. This project would not have been possible if the actors and actresses did not work as hard as they did. I am in debt to their generosity and kindness. This radio play also would not be possible without that of the help from my sound teacher, David Molina, who taught me new techniques to make this piece more than what I imagined it could be. I hope you enjoyed listening to it as much as I enjoyed composing it, and thank you for listening.
Okay, this time I'm going to do the whole thing, but as Morgan from D&D, okay? And sorry. I sound like Bernie Sanders.